morning, everybody. Ain't gonna get me this morning, or they can. We're not getting caught up in that country club traffic this morning. We learned our lesson yesterday. We're gonna take West Jackson all the way down to Pine, and then we'll shoot right to Hannah-Penn for your football lesson, and then I'll head to the office. Nice day out today. Nice and warm. What's up, Mark? Good morning. Cody, how you doing? Wanted to share something with you today. I find that oftentimes, whether I'm buying something and I'm interacting with a salesperson, or frequently I see people that we work with that sell or work in our acquisitions departments can often get shut down by just a few key words from sellers. And one thing to remember, even beyond this particular lesson about sales or tip about sales, is that the majority of clients that you're working with and selling to may not be an expert at articulating their thoughts. So there's a couple, I would say, key trigger responses that consumers use that will almost certainly shut down a salesperson or give that person, that client, the space that they want to process and make the decision at their own pace. In the car business, everybody says, I'm just looking. And if you think about that for a second, using the car business as an example, how often do you actually drive to a car dealership and wander around the dealership just for curiosity's sakes? It may happen, but I'm going to guess 75% of the time or more, someone actually has a general interest in buying a car. But when they say, I'm just looking, to a car salesman, almost immediately that gets them to hand them their car, they give them the space, and then they'll continue looking. The reality is they probably need help. They probably have questions, but without being an expert or even very comfortable communicating, most people will revert to something that feels comfortable or they know that they can say that will give them space. So let's think about this for a second. When a client or a prospect says, I need to think about it, right? Or I'm not ready to make a decision, basically. One of two things normally happens. Either A, as a salesperson, we back off and we concede, and we end the sales process. The client goes about their business. What I believe to know to be true is they don't physically leave there, go home, sit down, and think about it, or make a chart about the pros and cons. So it's not that they're not being honest about needing to think about it, but the reality is I don't believe they're just going to go home and ponder the decision or mull over the decision until they have a calculated response. What it means is, at that particular time, they don't feel comfortable making a decision. Maybe the process has moved too fast. Maybe the price or the cost of the product that you're selling is a little bit higher than what they had mentally committed to. So what you can't do in this particular case is push. Don't push to make a decision. Don't, give them, some type of ultimatum that if they can't make a decision now that they're going to lose the deal. That may work in one of 100 different scenarios, but the problem is the other 99 scenarios, when it doesn't work, you may ruin your relationship with that particular client because of the tactic that you used. So what you really should do is just simply ask the person, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, acknowledge the fact that it's a big decision, compliment them on being responsible enough to not rush into a decision. So it may sound something like this. Hey, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, I got to tell you, I really respect the fact that you're taking such a big purchase very seriously. I would do the same if I was in your situation. Is it okay if I ask you a question? Of course, they're going to say, yeah. When you go home and you sit down and you guys really, hash out this decision or think it over, what will be the one or two things that you'll really focus on that once you've, come together and agreed will help you make the decision as to whether it's a yes or a no? And ultimately, what's this going to do for you is it's going to tell you the one or two things that they say they need to think about that are really preventing them from moving forward. Now, ultimately, what will happen is they should share those two things with you, and then you can come back to those two topics and present to them to say, if I were able to solve those two problems for you, or if we were able to agree, on the down payment, or if we were able to agree on the settlement date, or if we were able to agree on a listing price, whatever those two things were that they said they would need to think about, is now out of the 1,000 things that you've presented, the 1,000 things that you guys have talked about, are the real two objections or things that they feel have not been resolved to a level to where they're able to make a decision. So don't push. Simply use that chain of questioning to help you isolate what it is that keeps them from moving forward, and then simply just offer to solve that problem if you're able to, or offer an alternative. That will give you the opportunity to close more deals. That will not make you sound like a pushy salesperson. That will allow you, if you don't close the prospect at that point, to understand better what it is that is preventing them from moving forward. You may not be able to solve the problem. You may not be able to present a solution that makes them feel comfortable. I guarantee you what you do is you'll be much better equipped to solve the problem. You'll retain more customers, and when you do make that sale, they're actually going to like you. So keep that in mind. Hope that's a helpful tip. You all have a great Thursday. We'll see you. Peace.